Hello, this is Patrick and welcome to another electric vehicle accessory review. If you bought an EV in the last year, they're not coming with the chargers for some reason. Tesla took them away about a year and a half ago. Ford no longer includes them specifically unless you specify you want a portable charger. They're kind of aiming for people to put charging stations in their garage that are tied directly into the electrical system. And ShockFlo here gave me the opportunity to review a solution. So instead of having to pay the premium for an OEM portable charger, you get a J1772, which will work with any electric vehicle on the market. It can also use the 240 volt. In America here, they use them at campgrounds. They're 50 amp NEMA 1450R. That'll give you a much higher speed than just like a regular wall outlet. This is the type of connector and charger that you need to charge overnight to full. Something that can be done in a couple hours as opposed to a couple of days off of a regular 110, 15 amp outlet. So let's see what's inside the box. All right, ShockFlo. Here we go. 32 amp portable EV charger, J1772. EV charging standard for EV type 1, 120 volt, all the way through 240 volt AC. Nominal current, 32 amps. NEMA 1450, which is what I was just showing right here. So you can have an electrician put this in your garage, or you may already have one, or you can do it yourself if you feel confident, depending on your local electrical code. Here in Wyoming, you can do it yourself, and I have. It's not hard. It's basically 3 wires. Let's see what's in the box. Oh, look at this. It comes with a case. Nice. Discreet. I'm not going to show off to potential thieves that there's something we're stealing, but there is. Oh, cool. So it's all bubble wrapped. We've got a manual for EV J1772 use and care instructions. Read carefully. We'll do that. Some molly screws for fixing this to your wall. Something fun for the kids to play with. Oh, very fancy. We got an LED screen on here, a bracket for mounting to the wall. And let's check out the connector. Oh, sweet. So right off the bat, we got the NEMA 1450. These are usually a pretty tight fit, by the way. And we should be good to go. So this is going to be high-speed portable charging. This will be our level 2. And then, of course, we got the actual J1772 and a nice little cover for it to make sure there's no dirt, dust, or debris that gets inside. Lightweight. Cable's not too thick, but not too skinny and scary. So we can select the current and we can do a delay. That's pretty sweet stuff. Here's a quick lesson on how these work. So it's an EVSE. It's actually just safely supplying power from the breaker at your house or campsite or wherever into your vehicle's onboard AC charger, as opposed to a level 3, which is like, you know, a supercharger or Electrify America, where it's going directly DC to DC and it's controlling that. This is limited by whatever your vehicle can do. Most electric vehicles can do the 32 amps. Some of the older ones can't do that much, so it's a good thing you're able to select on here what you're able to do. If you're not comfortable with how these voltages work and the amps and all this craziness, I recommend hiring an electrician to put this professionally into your garage. If not, you can do it yourself, and it's not that complicated. It's basically 2 wires. So on your breaker panel, you have either 100, 200, 400 amps coming in. It's 240 volts, so you got 2 phases. This uses 2. So you've got 2 legs and a ground, and you wire them into the NEMA 1450. I did this here in my shop, and it wasn't terribly difficult. I did have to dig under the sidewalk, which is a pain in the butt. But you just follow the color code, and it's not terribly difficult. If it's legal where you live to do it yourself, do it that way. If you are comfortable with electrical, otherwise I highly recommend getting an electrician. It is a lot of power, but it is not impossible to do yourself. Thing to note, you have to make sure you have the right gauge of cable. So in my instance, you'd either use an 8 or a 6. The lower the number, the thicker it is, and the more amperage it can push through it safely without getting too hot. which is a good thing. This actually will shut itself down if it gets too hot. The further distance you go, the thicker the cable you need, and the higher the amperage, the thicker cable you need. Again, consult an electrician. Every circumstance is different. When you hire one, explain to them the specifications of this device and what you need. If they're wired up for just a regular NEMA 1450 that's for an RV, you shouldn't have any problems at all. Although, if you don't have enough capacity on your panel, it can actually be set up with a lower breaker. So you could have something set up for just a simply 40 amp as opposed to a 50 or a 60 amp. Because you need an extra 20% capacity above whatever the device is pulling on the breaker. Luckily, I had enough capacity that I'm not using all these devices at once, and I'm able to do my own charging. So after I got my NEMA 1450 installed, I'm able to use the mounting bracket, so it's kind of a semi-permanent install, but when I need to go traveling, I can just unplug it and slide it out of the dock and throw it in the car, and I'm good to go on my trip. No problem, this thing's all weatherproof. So this is an IP class 67, which allows for it to work out in, mild flurries and a drizzle. I, wouldn't put it in floodwaters, but other than that, you should be good. So this is our NEMA 1450. Now that we're plugged in, we can get a Tesla or any other electric vehicle. Teslas come with an adapter, the J1772. Plug it in. It's communicating when it's blue, and then it turns green when it's charging. That's it. 32 amps. The battery's pretty close to being full anyways. So it started out 16 amps, 24 amps, and now it's at the full 32 amps. Charging at 247 volts. Approximately 30 miles an hour of charge on this Performance Model 3 with winter tires. The type of electrical connection you may already have in your garage or available to you in public areas, such as campsites. And putting one in at your house is pretty trivial and not very expensive. When done, just simply press the release. Tesla will show that it's ready to take out, white, and you're good to go. ShockFlo. All right, so this is where we can set up the delay. So you press the button on delay, you can have 5, 6, 7 hour, 8 hour, 10 hours, 12. So say you get home at 6 o'clock, you want to have it charge at midnight. See, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So like 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours. And you can get it to start charging when your electric bill may be cheaper. Here in Wyoming, it's the same. So it doesn't really make a huge difference. Although, maybe I'm at home and I wanted to charge when I'm running off my solar panels. So I get here and I set it to 12 hours. And that way it'll charge mostly during the day when I'm charging directly from the sunlight. One of the really nice things about this portable charger, it is rated for all weather conditions. And you can see it's snowing behind me right now. And if we're at a campsite, we can still plug in and use the unit without any issues. The opposite's also true. In really hot weather conditions, it's got a sensor in here and it'll shut itself off if you leave it out in the sun and it gets above 50 degrees Celsius, and then you don't want to damage your car or the EVSE, so it'll actually shut itself down until it cools off, then it'll turn itself back on again. So it's not recommended to use this in direct sunlight. If you keep it out of direct sunlight, then you shouldn't have any issues. So I thought of another use case for this portable charger, and with the Ford Lightning, you got a 240 output. We got a mobile charger. We got a Tesla stranded on the side of the road because they did not charge up overnight using a fast level 2 charger, and so they didn't have enough range to make it to their destination. They need rescued. So we can do that. The Ford Lightning, it can do about 30 or so amps, and 32 amps is a little bit much. Because we have the ability to select the current on this, we can turn it down to 24 amps and charge the Tesla. We got our NEMA 1450 that goes in here. And on the Lightning, it's just a 30 amp. It's a NEMA 1430R. So right here, current 24 amps. We can do 32, but we'll stay at 24. Just make sure we don't trip the breaker. J1772, Tesla North American charging standard adapter. Let's see what happens. Blue's communicating, green's charging. So we're using our ShockFlo portable charger. And you can see right here on the screen inside the Tesla, counting up on the amperage. We got 16 amps, 17 amps. We should hit 24 amps. We're adding 21 miles per hour of range to this Tesla Model Y Performance with snow tires. I say that because all those things degrade the range. The Performance model, the snow tires, providing 5.8 kilowatts to charge the Tesla. That's another use case for this thing. I thought it was cool because this is the first time we've ever been able to do this. Before it involved like towing a Tesla, but now you can literally drive up with a rescue truck and charge up any electric vehicle using a portable adapter. And the cool thing about this is because you can select the current on the charger, you don't have to tone it down on the vehicle. So if you're helping somebody else out, you don't even have to get into their vehicle. All right, so you saw how to install an NEMA 1450 outlet. You saw how you can use this to charge from a truck to a car, how to charge outside, inside. This thing's very versatile, working out in the snow, out in the sun. You don't have to worry about anything getting too hot because it'll automatically protect itself and shut it down until it's cool enough and then start back up again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would highly recommend this product. I would give it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's a great value. If you want to get one yourself, you can just follow the links down below and it'll take you to their Amazon store with the best pricing and expedited shipping. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. The ShockFlo portable 2-in-1 electric car EVSE.